I actually genuinely want to read them. So what's the problem? I don't know, Ketevan. We'll figure it out. Together, maybe? I don't know. Hello, my name's Ketevan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to talk about my new book buying system. So if you've been following along, I'll stick the video up here. I had a book buying system for 2023 and I have decided it's out. So because it's not doing what I want it to do, and so I'm going to try a new system out for the rest of the year. And I think this is good because it's going to be more streamlined and more just reading the books and not thinking about how everything fits and what counts and points and things like that. So hopefully it works better for me and maybe it'll inspire you. I don't know. Probably not. No one's as dorky as I am about these things. Maybe Alyse you understand, but that's about it. This is like a form of consumerism and capitalism that like I just have not gotten a handle on for myself. Like I don't buy a lot of new books. I buy mostly used books, but it's still like I just want more options. And that's what it is, because I can't just have a small TBR where I'm just, you know, have a selection of 5 to 10 books. Like I need choices. I need to feel like I can just pick and choose whatever I want. And I do try to pre-select books that I would like to read in the next few months. And there's a separate shelf in my home for that. And then often I'll just pick a book off this shelf a lot and just start reading them without having planned it. So I need that flexibility. So I know I always want to have a large number on my TBR, but not quite as large as this one currently. So basically my old system, very complicated. I won't go into it. You can watch the video if you're really interested, but like I said, it didn't work, so I don't know why you would be. But essentially it was like reading 5 books and then you can buy a book kind of deal. And but the problem with that was that there were a lot of exceptions. So if I needed to buy a book club book, I could just buy it. If I was traveling, I could buy a book. If I, you know, whatever, there were all these little like exceptions that basically in the end, or at least up until March of this year, it ended up being a wash. So I have read 38 books off my bookshelf and I bought 36 books. So that did not do what I wanted it to do. And of course, out of those 36 books, about like 5 to 8 of them were either free from Book Swap or they were gifts. So okay, that's not too bad, but still it's not quite exactly what I want to be happening with my bookshelf, because if you don't know, all these books behind me that you can see are books that I haven't read yet, and the books that I have read are stuck behind and they're hidden. My goal is to have the top 2 of these 4 shelves, you can't see the 4th one up there, to have 2 of those 4 shelves be displaying books that I have read and loved, because when I read a book and I want to own it, I want to be able to look at it and smile and say, oh, I read that book and I enjoyed it and I remember reading it. I don't want them all hidden back there. So this year is all about sort of reducing the TBR, the physical TBR, and I've realized that this system is just not working for me. So what we're going to be doing is switching it up. So I played around with it a little bit, and basically it's going to be an easy peasy, super breezy 2-for-1 system. So, or I should say 2-for-1. So if I read 2 books off the shelf, I get to buy a book. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And I'm also going to be including new books that I've bought. So say, for example, I've read 2 books this year and I bought a book. If I read that book, it will then count as one of these books. And before I had kept that very separate, and as I was playing with it, I mentioned it to my partner and he was like, why? Why are they separate? I'm like, well, because I want to incentivize myself to read like the books that are older rather than newer. He's like, yeah, but you just bought them because you want to read them. So why are you disincentivizing yourself from reading them? And I was like, huh. Accurate. So basically now my system is going to encompass every single book in my home that I have not yet read. I won't count rereads because that sort of like defeats the purpose. But if I have it in my home and I own it and I've read it, it's going to count. With that said, I sort of redid everything and I'm currently about 10 books behind. So I have to read 10 books just to catch up with what I have already purchased, which just goes to show you how bloated the old system was and how much it was not working. So I'm actually quite happy with that because I did buy quite a few books recently. I traveled a lot. I found quite a few good deals from used bookstores and from individuals recently. So I'm kind of book purchased out anyway. So I'm just going to try to plow through some books on my shelf and read them. And we will see then how it goes moving forward once I have, you know, some wiggle room to purchase a book here or there. But anyway, I know that you probably don't have a system like this because this is not an issue for most people. But if you do have an issue, have you ever thought of putting in a system? Do you have a system? What have you thought about doing? Do you have any ideas? Do you have any critiques? Do you have any sort of feedback at all? Because this is something I feel like I've been trying to have a version of for so many years and I just have not perfected it. And I don't know, always looking for more ideas to sort of like fix this like compulsion I have to buy books, because of course, you know, I do read a lot. It's not like I'm the type of person that buys 30 books a year and reads 2 books a year. So I'm not like upset with myself as much, but I just really would like to read more from the books off my shelf, because I'm very ruthless about unhauling books if I haven't read it yet and I'm not interested in reading them anymore. If I don't want to read them anymore, I won't keep them. They're not on the shelf just because I bought them and I feel guilty about it. So I don't want to let it go. They're there because I want them there. I have gotten rid of plenty of books that I'm no longer interested in reading. So it's not so much like I need to force myself to reading these books because, you know, on principle. It's more, I actually genuinely want to read them. So what's the problem? I don't know, Ketevan. We'll figure it out together, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, if you have any feedback, thoughts, ideas, opinions, judgments on this subject, please, I want to hear them just because I find this so interesting. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.